it's Nick Taves, and I am doing this by way of an introduction once again. This time I have some kind of shitty news to go after. Basically, I was up in Vermont a few weeks ago, and right before Memorial Day, and I saw Mike Imholt and Casey, and we recorded some podcasts, and this is the first podcast that we recorded. It was just Mike and I. Unfortunately, we ran into technical difficulties about 30 minutes into it, so we lost about almost a half hour's worth of audio due to technical difficulties. So what I've done here for your listening pleasure is a kind of a non sequitur ending to this and a intro beginning. I do remember everything that was said in the part that you won't be hearing, and it was mostly just like, what have I been up to recently, which is kind of minimal. I'm in contact with a producer in Hollywood, and he's been kind enough to look over a script that I wrote, so I was bringing Mike up to speed on that, and I am doing various reading projects right now, and working on a adaptation of The Thin Man book that I hope to try to throw my hat in the ring with the Thin Man remake that's supposed to happen with Johnny Depp. So that's kind of what I was saying to Mike, and Mike was going, and we were talking about stuff as to like what his older child thinks of the newer younger child. Stuff like that, pretty innocuous fare. So, not a heck of a lot to report. And then it was just kind of like, what happened to Gene Sanders at the college, not being there anymore, and some stuff about stories that happened to me from somebody I know, and some kind of nasty things that were said to me, like anybody that watches Twilight is going to hell, and everybody that worked on Twilight, the first film, is going to hell. To which I said to the person that said that to me, are you sure? Even the director of the Nativity Story, because she was the one that directed Twilight, she's going to hell, and that shut the woman up. And I don't say it that way to be mean. That's really what happened. I got a Hannibal Lecter look from her. If you look at the movie Red Dragon, Anthony Hopkins, Edward Norton, Harvey Keitel, and Philip Seymour Hoffman, and Ralph Fiennes or Fiennes, or however you pronounce it. Basically, there's a look that Anthony Hopkins gives when he's told that he had certain disadvantages, and that's how he was caught. And he goes, well, what disadvantages? And Edward Norton goes, well, you're crazy. And he just gives us this look like, he's got me there. And that was the look that I got when I said the director of the Nativity Story is also the director of Twilight. That really, didn't go over very well. So that's kind of the humorous kind of stories I was telling, and a few other things, like somebody who appears on one of these podcasts said to me that all movies have moral messages, even the ones without moral messages. Their moral message is that people don't need morals, so because they are important. So I said, okay, all movies have moral messages. He goes, yeah. I said, what happened to the moral messages of The Expendables? The guy didn't give a satisfactory answer. And I'm not telling this in a way of being funny at this point. I'm telling it in a way of being informative. This is the kind of things that we were talking about. Mike was laughing quite a bit, and as was I, and we did a few That's What She Said jokes. So you basically heard in about 5 to 6 minutes time what was talked about on the course of like 27 minutes. So you're up to speed on everything that was talked about, and you'll see some video excerpts after this thing goes up and all the other podcasts go up. You'll see video excerpts of these podcasts, so you may actually see some of the stuff that you're not able to hear on this podcast as video excerpts. And again, the video is just two guys sitting in a room talking. So with that, I tried to do this as smoothly as possible. There's some audio transitions that I did to give the non sequitur a little less non sequitur feel. So basically, here's me talking. I'm going to shut up momentarily, and then you're going to hear Mike and I talking, and then you'll hear some music that we played as part of the non sequitur opening that we did. Then there's a good chunk of us talking again, and then you're going to hear another section of music that I cut together a while ago, and then you'll hear the non sequitur ending to the podcast because of what happened. And all that is just when we started rolling the digital file for recording it, this audio that you're going to hear as a non sequitur ending was actually at the beginning of it. So it's a little bit out of context, but it will have to do and be kind of funny. And then you'll hear a song that we didn't use as the original ending for the podcast. The original ending to the podcast was Dima and Jerry Lewis' song called You'll Never Get Away. It was the shorter version of that I played. And yes, alternate music, but for the most part this podcast is intact as far as the way that things went. So sorry for ranting like this. Hopefully it doesn't detract from your listening pleasure of the rest of this podcast, and you'll hear me better with Casey and Mike on the next few podcasts. So look for those. They'll be coming up shortly, and enjoy, and thanks for listening.
Hi, Mike.
Hello.
I was seen you in a while.
Is that a good thing?
I don't think so, but you might.
Yeah, I haven't looked in the mirror in a while, so yes, not seeing myself has been a nice respite.
Nice. Well, I figured by way of an introduction, since we're starting off cold here without music, I figured I could catch you up with a little song that I recorded with Rockapella's help, of course. It goes something like this.
1, 2, 3. Well, she sneaks around the world, Maria to Carolina. She's a sticky finger toucher, bumbling down to Belize. Take you for a ride, no most to China. Tell me where in the world is
Grand Sunburst.
there's only one Korea, making honey cup cry on from Rest me the green light, feel me singing the blues. I will be ever rocking solid steel, but me come from a jungle. Tell me where in the world is
Grand Sunburst.
we go from Nashville to Norway, but air to Zimbabwe, Chicago to Czechoslovakia, and back to Pakistan and Birmingham and Scandinavia, and just to come on down under and go big pocket burden. Listen, misdemeanor, when it's over, me some diva. Tell me where in the world is
Grand Sunburst.
tell me where in the world. Come on, tell me where can she be? Botswana to Thailand, Milan, via Amsterdam, Bali to Bali, Ohio. Oh, whoa, ooh, the cheese. Ooh, the cheese. Monday to Friday at 5. She flies around the globe and jumping from every nation. She's a double-dealing diva with a taste for flavoring. Her itinerary loaded with moving violation. Tell me where in the world is
Grand Sunburst.
tell me where in the world is where in the world is. Tell me where in the world everywhere takes should be. Where in the world is
Grand Sunburst.
watch your back.
Nicely done.
Yeah, thanks. I've been using that for the start of a podcast series with Casey titled Moving Violations. And there's also a line for Groucho Marx in there that says, hey, are you a corrupt politician? Or am I being redundant?
I'm sure Casey appreciated that.
Yeah, well, considering it was aimed at Jane, yeah. But anyway, for those who haven't heard that podcast before, I strongly recommend listening to it, as it kind of details the story of the civil rights violations that I encountered at Burlington College. However, that said, you were at the same college, and we discussed last time, long time ago now, how we had met and the shows that we've done together and stuff. So I was thinking, let's hear what you've been up to, because they've heard everything that I've been up to.
In a word, nothing. No.
Well, that's good.
That is worthwhile radio right there, folks. Listen to that.
Nothing.
Story's over. Let's see.
Good night.
It's been probably a year, hasn't it, or more,
Yeah.
since we last recorded a podcast.
Well, I think the last time we recorded was, I want to say it was what, 2010, April, something like that.
Well, it's 2012, so it would have been 2011.
Okay.
Yeah, because let's see. Well, I'll just be very to the point here. I lived here in Vermont for about 4 years and moved back to my native Ohio in April of last year, so April of 2011, for various reasons.
Not always so much was economics.
Yeah. To put it bluntly, I was broke. So, packed up my stuff and moved to a state where things are
a little bit cheaper.
Yeah, exactly. So, let's see. And in that year's time, I welcomed a new daughter to the family.
How's she doing, by the way?
Oh, she's great. She's 8 months at this point, so very alert. Has a terrible temper, just like her mother.
Nice.
May have to edit that part out. For my own safety. And the safety of those around me at the time. Scattershot often catches innocent bystanders.
So I hear.
Well, yeah, hopefully all you do is hear and you won't actually be witness. So, moving beyond that.
Yeah, well, when we get to the current update stuff from me, I can tell you, well, go ahead.
Yeah, so, just have been working at a job that, I don't have a whole lot to say about, and probably a good idea that I don't say a whole lot. But, just a job that pays the bills and not much more. So,
Dare I ask what company?
You can dare, and I will double dare you not to do that again. But it's just a small retailer in Ohio, so it's it's what they would call a clock punching job. And you punch the clock after and before.
Yeah.
Yeah, literally with your fist.
Well, that's how you start and stop it, right?
Exactly. But aside from that, let me think. If I guess having a child is kind of a big event, but not anything else obviously is going to be able to top that as far as newsworthy material.
Now, how's the family? Let me ask you that.
Doing well. The oldest daughter is finishing up another school year. We're moving at the beginning of July to a new place out in the country, which is really where I've always wanted to be, getting the heck out of the city and into a nice country setting away from everything.
I suppose up here where you're in the thick of everything.
Yeah, speaking of up here,
yes.
Last night I wandered through downtown Burlington for the first time in, again, over a year.
Yeah.
I have to say, I first started visiting this area back in the year 2000, so we're talking about 12 years ago. I am very disappointed in the state of things in Burlington, especially in the Church Street area. It just does not feel like a friendly atmosphere any longer. A lot of the shops have closed or moved. One of Borders. Well, that was kind of that was a
corporate failure.
Yeah, exactly. So that was widespread, but it just.
Well, how about downtown Dish? They're gone.
Yeah. Oh, that's a crime against humanity. It just doesn't. I would never say that the area of downtown Burlington really felt all that inviting, but at least it was manageable. I just was really, really sad seeing the state of things. It didn't feel clean. It didn't feel inviting. There weren't any street performers. it was just it was a very different environment from the one that I was used to, and
yes, things have changed a lot since last time we were here.
yeah, and I'll say this: it did not. There was no sentimentality on my part. I thought, going down there for the first time in a place that I lived for 4 years, I might feel a little nostalgic, but not at all. It was really, it was actually a sight to see, and I have to say that even though I thought coming up here there may be some of those feelings of, hey, this is where you belong, I definitely felt the opposite. So I have to say I'm glad to be where I am now, and I'll always view Vermont as kind of a second home because throughout my life I've lived here maybe a total of 5 years, maybe a hair more. So
well, there's also the personal aspect of one of your kids was technically conceived here.
Well, if you need to get technical. Yes, Nate is correct, but both of my children were born at the same hospital in Cincinnati, Ohio that I was born in.
Right, huh?
Interesting, huh? No, not really.
No, it is, because it's almost like you completed the cycle for your family. Everything comes back to that hospital.
Yeah, well, that's true. That's true. But there was a point a few years ago that I really thought, this was going to be the place for us. We were going to stay up here probably until, well, the one daughter we had at the time, until she was off on her own. We were thinking, we'd probably live in the area, and things, of course, didn't work out that way. And I have to say, honestly, probably for the best that we didn't stick around, because again, I mean, one impression is one impression, but I was really taken aback by what I saw, and
it seems to me that the town in general has become less friendly with the time that we've spent away from it, because even myself, the neighbors are now taking advantage of us. You haven't heard the story yet, so this will be a doozy for you. The place we're at, for the benefit of those who are only listening to this, is a little house, and no, it's not on the prairie. It's,
have you looked at the yard?
Yeah, well, that's true. It is a bit overgrown. But it's all weeds. all the grass is out back.
Weed? Oh, weeds.
Yeah, not the stuff that you smoke, Mike.
I gave that up a long time ago.
Okay, well, I mean, you still smoke.
Yes, for the benefit of everyone listening, that's in the past. Sorry.
Would you like to make that a little bit more believable?
I can't say it with a straight face, but trust me, it is. I'm now a fan of the sauce.
He means booze.
Do you have another?
Yes. Would you like one?
Yes, I would.
Okay. Well, I'll get it out while I tell the story. Basically, we have a house here in Burlington that we're trying to sell. Probably a good thing. And the neighbors called us about a week and change ago and asked if they can put a Harley into our garage up here. So, needless to say, my dad said, yeah, sure, we're not really using it for much. There's enough room for a Harley. And the reason given was that, they didn't want to have anything fall on the Harley. So, what the hell, that made sense. And so, we came up yesterday, or when was it? No, we came up Sunday. And much to our chagrin, perhaps is the word that I'm looking for, there was shit piled in our garage, and there still is. Beds, trunks, paper towels, all this other strange, miscellaneous crap that isn't a motorcycle, and my mom actually had to dig through to find the motorcycle. But
There is a motorcycle.
Yeah, but it takes up the majority of our garage. I can show you after we're done recording this. The microphones don't go quite far enough for you to have the reaction on the podcast.
Like one of those bungee mics. Have you ever seen those in a movie where somebody starts walking away but then gets yoink?
Yeah, clotheslined by the mic. Yeah, I see that every day. It's called life.
On the hook.
Yeah, that's what she said.
Oh. Wow. That sounds very painful.
Oh, you have no idea. There we go. As I crack open a beer.
Okay. So there's stuff piled up in the garage. Somewhere underneath is a motorcycle.
Yeah,
What's going to happen with all this stuff?
Well, my dad...
Fire in a few minutes.
Well, my dad called from Vegas the other day, and asked the guy to get the stuff the hell out of there. And, hasn't done anything yet. It's still sitting there. So, my point in telling that story was just more of to illustrate the idea that, the neighbors are taking advantage of us now. That didn't used to happen.
Well,
it ain't right and it ain't fair. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, well, I'll say this again. That kind of leads back to the original point I was making about the town and just the state of things in the area. I'm very, again, I was sorry to leave. Because I had a few friends, work and otherwise here in the area, and a decent job at the time, and it was a place that I could see my family living for quite some time. But when looking at how the state of things now, I have to say, I think we made the old right decision there. And I'm happy where we are now. I mean, it's not perfect, but
You don't have to do?
It ain't broken. Well,
not yet.
Sometimes it's broken. Let me tell you.
That's what she said.
Sometimes it's very broken.
Gesundheit.
I just pulled a muscle. Don't guess which one.
Damn it.
Let them decide. That's. I think without.
Let them decide. Are you sure you want it?
I'm sure they're going to go with the tricep. Yes, that's it. The tricep.
Are you John Lovitz? Yeah, that's the ticket. The old tricep.
Is John Lovitz still alive?
Yeah, he is. He owns a podcast theater in L.A. where Kevin Smith does podcasts now.
Oh, interesting. Yeah, whenever I haven't heard from someone for a while, I always ask, are they still alive? Which is probably not the right question. But,
Well, would you like to hear a audio excerpt of Lovitz?
Yeah. Why not? Are we going to do that after?
Oh, we can do it right now.
Oh, well, let's take a moment then and give praise to John Lovitz.
Yeah, I think you'll get a kick out of this here. Let me pull this up while I'm vamping for a second. Basically, Lovitz went and had a little bit of a something not so nice to say about our president, or commander-in-chief, as I call him. Now, would you like to hear the censored version or the uncensored version? Uncensored?
Yes.
Alrighty. Your Honor, we moved to strike. Here we go. Hopefully Kevin Smith doesn't sue, since it belongs to him, but here goes. I have his permission, so nobody get mad at me. You do pay attention.
Well, you were saying something before we came
The
out.
point is anyone can do anything if you're willing to put in the work. That's my point.
Are you done?
No. This whole thing with Obama saying the rich don't pay their taxes is fucking bullshit. And I voted for the guy and I'm a Democrat. What a fucking asshole. The rich don't pay their taxes. Let me tell you something, right? First they say to you, you're dead broke. The United States of America, you can do anything you want. Go for it. So then you go for it, and then you make it, and everyone's like, fuck you. Oh, fuck that. You just said go for it. He himself is the perfect example. He's amazing. He had nothing. He had no father. He was, a mixed race, which is a burden in the United. Don't kid yourself, growing up like that. And no money, and the guy ends up being at Harvard. He's the president of the United States.
And you're like, fuck
And
you.
and now he's like, fuck me. And everyone who made it like me, it's like, you have to work your ass off,
Yeah.
If I make $1, and out of every dollar I'm taxed at half of 50 cents I have to give, isn't that like enough?
Yes.
So for every dollar you make, $2 you have to give $1 back. No, that's not right. You're not paying enough. It's half.
Yeah, I feel you. I pay
Half.
Yeah.
And then they go, well, the rich people have all these deductions. Well, everyone in this room has the same deductions. You just didn't learn about it. But you have the exact same deduction. Did you drive a car? Do you take it to work? Deduct it.
Hey,
Do you eat at lunch? Deduct it.
Stop yelling at the 99%.
It's my club.
Yeah, but don't burn it down, man. Occupy, love it.
Oh, and then, so I take my hard-earned money and I open a club. Now all of you are here. Fuck me. Hello? It's ridiculous.
So needless to say, that was recorded at the John Lovitz Podcast Theater Comedy Club in Los Angeles, California, and Lovitz was doing comedy show at the time in his defense, which is something that apparently all other outlets have failed to say. However, for the full episode of that, it's the ABCs of SNL. You can see it, or you'll hear it on iTunes, or you can go to spotcast.com and find it. Kevin Smith was the other voice that you heard: director, writer, actor, comedian, producer, editor. I think I ran out of all the things that he is.
Included writer.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, I wasn't paying attention.
Kind of got turned off from all this swearing, did you?
No, actually, I'll say this, Nate. I studied politics in college, but I have paid virtually no attention to what's going on. And I think this was a common theme. This was a common theme, actually, the last time we spoke. I was really just turned off by, and I have been for the last, 4 or 5 years, with the whole political process and what's going on.
Would you like to hear something that you may not like?
Yes, I love bad news.
Okay, the First Amendment is gone. You don't have right to freedom of assemblage anymore. You can no longer. It's now law that you cannot assemble anywhere that there's a political figure without being arrested.
Well, maybe you're more up to date on.
Obama just signed it into effect a couple of months ago.
Well, anything that infringes upon the First Amendment will be shot down by the Supreme Court pretty easily.
They they were in favor of it because of what happened to Gabrielle Giffords.
So they're trying to cloak it in the as if it's a security measure.
Yep.
Well, I'll say this.
This tastes a bit nutty for beer. Go ahead.
It's nutty. That's what she said.
Apparently.
Double bock? That sounds really dirty. Fucking amber.
How about Long Trail?
Out?
Hardy? Rotund?
I like them full bodied.
That's what she said.
And that, ladies and gentlemen, was the beer rant. Look for an upcoming album.
It's called Drinking the Only With Thine Eyes.
I'll drink to that. Which, by the way, I'll drink to that was a catchphrase that we use quite a bit, especially at the Church Street Tavern, establishment here in Burlington, one of the few still standing and hasn't been occupied.
Yeah, it seems like they're tearing down all our old haunts on Church Street.
Again, I was just really, really disappointed. But anyway, the Church Street Tavern, as far as I know, still exists.
Yeah, no, it's still there. Still there.
But anyway,
The food's a little bit lesser quality, as you may find out today, but it's...
Really?
Yeah.
Did you go recently?
Last year.
Last year. Okay. Well, that's disappointing.
Yeah, but I mean, it might have just been an off day when I went out, no?
We'll give them the benefit of the doubt. We put enough beer away at that place, and we came up with the phrase, I'll drink to that.
And that's about right.
That's about right. That's about right. I think you'll hear an explanation for it in another podcast.
Oh, they've heard it on, if they've listened to any of these, on, I think it was the Cat Shaver, and, a Conversation, the first one, the one that we're doing now.
Very nice, very nice. Well,
as a way of an introduction for our missing third leg here, that,
yeah, you chair is a footrest, which I would be even if you were here.
I'll say on video, too.
I don't know. You're not getting my good side here. I haven't bent over.
Yeah, your pants are up.
That's very unusual for me. So, well, I don't know where to go with this conversation. We went from I'll drink to that, which I think he makes some pretty interesting points. But
that's where I was going to try to direct you back, though.
All right, I'll drink my way back into sobriety.
Drinking right back into sobriety. What are you drinking? Because I see a Rolling Rock in front of you, not,
When you see a Rolling Rock, you kick it.
That's what she said.
A Rolling Rock? Yeah, there's no moss. But I guess it could be a
Well, it's the same thing.
Yeah, exactly.
You could even say a Rolling Boulder carries no moss.
That's true. It tends to crush houses. So,
especially in Boulder.
nice place, by the way.
Not really.
No, not really.
No, I've been there. I have a family member there.
Alright, I'll request a fly over.
So on. It's her damn fault for not wanting to come out and, see her father when he died or her mother when she died. Not that.
Conversation's taking a morbid turn.
Oh, you know what they say, the morbid the merrier. Or if she's morbid, I'll marry her.
Well, and a little while.
Well.
I'm going to interrupt you here. Do you have a point?
Cut out make. Yes. My point was that I've been surrounded by death for the past few years, as you may have noted for Burlington College students. Well, you pause on that. Let me explain. There was a young lady, and I use the term loosely, that was visiting on-campus housing. You may remember this story now.
I do indeed. I've tried to forget it. I'm being held against my will.
That's what she said. How are you going to go out from there?
Nowhere to go from here.
Except up. That's what she said.
Why couldn't she have said down? And da-da-da-da-da-da.
Rome is for those who are inclined to. Ladies' hearts or diamond rings are not very special things when Tony Rome is out and about. 'Cause Tony Rome will take 'em if you don't watch out.